Cowboys Nation. How the hell y'all feeling right now?
Yo, this is Neville Gallimore from the Dallas Cowboys, and I want to give a major shout out to Mike Tag. Keep bringing the hype to the Cowboys Nation. We love and appreciate it. Now, can you dig it?
What is up, Cowboys Nation? Mike Tag here, man. Appreciate it. You guys stopping in early in the morning, getting this season started. Getting this game started. See, I'm tired. I had a long night. Went to a little party. Had too much rum punch, and now I'm feeling it. But definitely, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, share. I'm always bad at that, so we've gotten a ton of new subscribers, so I appreciate it. A lot of great stuff going on, and make sure, Troy, you take it easy with on the fantasy team. You had some 49ers gave me a beating so far, so you're up a lot. So hopefully my team can definitely get a little better today and get going. So, yeah, Angelica, I know you were nervous about your Knowles. Let's just be honest. Let's be honest with ourselves. Knowles, they look good. They look good early, with LSU, but they hadn't looked that great. So my confidence with my Canes is getting higher and higher as the season goes on for that showdown at FSU. So, pump the brakes on Florida State a little bit, but it was a big win. Good win against Clemson. They hadn't beat Clemson in 7 years. So definitely was a good day for college football. We're definitely going to get into some Cowboys stuff. I see my man Doug. He's out in Arizona. He's up early. That's always a good thing. And, Bobby, good morning. Everyone jumping in, man. Appreciate it. I'm glad to see I'm not the only one who's sleeping in on Sunday, on football Sunday, getting everything ready. And we got some fun stuff to talk about, good things to talk about with our Cowboys. But college was some crazy games. That Ohio State Notre Dame game last night. That was insane, and that was a hard one because you don't like. I mean, for me, I'm not a fan of Ohio State. Obviously, it's got some history with Miami that I'm not happy about. Notre Dame, history of Miami. We had some rivalries, so I was kind of torn between who to win out of that one. So didn't care, but I kind of wanted Notre Dame to hold off and beat Ohio State just for fun, but didn't happen. My Canes look good. Alabama showed what they got. They had a nice win there. I think Colorado was brought back down to reality a little bit, but that was expected. It still doesn't take away what Deion's done with that program. You got to remember they won one game. Nobody wanted to go to Colorado. No one talked about Colorado. Now you've got this Colorado team that that's selling a lot of tickets, got a lot of hype, and he's going to build that program. But they took a beating. Yeah, no hangover. Had a big party. Learned a couple things. One, I'm getting old. Two, you don't want to go horse playing around, with people that are half your age. Found that out. It doesn't usually end in your favor, but it was fun. We had a good time. Some sneak attacks, that kind of stuff, taking advantage of some old men, but we held our own. In the fight, but it was a little cheating, but we'll see what happens. But it was a lot of fun. Yeah, Kelly, Kelly, I love Kelly, but he's always like, man, I'm going to get up. I'm going to jump on the show, but Kelly can't. I think he can't hang like me, man. I'm out partying and I'm up, fresh, invigorated, getting ready for this Cowboys game. The only thing I hate is I got to wait all day for him to play, but it is what it is. I'm going to, as soon as we get done with this, go get a little breakfast, got a tradition, and we'll have some fun. But, getting into the game, Cardinals. I mean, what's your thoughts on really this Cardinals matchup? It's a team we should slap around. It's obviously a team we should slap around. But they've had our number. But obviously, Kyle Murray, has had our number. So it's going to be interesting to see if we can return the favor. And really, Dobbs, if you guys remember last year at Tennessee, we played them. I think it was a Thursday night game last year. we won, but it wasn't very impressive. And we actually, I think we helped him get noticed because he had a pretty decent game against us. So you never want to take things, lightly. You never want to take any games, lightly. And we had some conversations. If you missed the show Wednesday, we had Eugene Lockhart on, and Kelly dared to ask the question of, do you rest if you've got guys that are nicked up? Do you rest them? Do you kind of let them, use this as kind of like a bye week or a preseason game? And Eugene was not happy with that question and gave a very passionate answer. And it's one of those where I get it. I mean, it's, Brandon Cooks looks like he's going to be playing. So, if you're healthy, you want to get him out there. I mean, we've got some games coming up. So, Brandon Cooks looks like he's there. Tyler Smith, who hadn't played all year. I mean, you say, what do you sit him another week? I mean, how many more weeks you see him? If he's ready to play, you want him to play. But now you've got Tyron was on the injury list. Biotish was on the injury list. They brought up a couple centers from the practice squad, so it's making you think, well, maybe he's not going to play. But then I'm hearing, highly likely that Biotish is going to play, Tyron's going to play. Martin was on the injured list. So this offensive line, which is something that we've all been kind of, crossing our fingers and saying, hey, we just got to keep these guys together, keep them healthy. You're starting to get some of them nagging injuries that pop up. Some of it could be a little, I don't want to call it gamesmanship, but sometimes they put every little thing they got to put on the injury report just in case, just to make sure they don't have any trouble with the NFL or anything like that. So I expect mostly all of them to play. I think this is an opportunity, really, the offense to kind of showcase themselves and kind of get in midseason form with with some games coming up. New England's got, next week you got New England, but obviously the showdown with San Francisco is on everyone's, at least the fans, it's on all our mind. And we've had that one circled on the calendar since the schedule came out, not only because it's your boy's birthday, of course. I know that's one of the main reasons everyone's excited for that game is it's on my birthday, but more importantly, it's one of those mental games that we've got, for the Cowboys. I just think they gotta bring it, and they got to get that kind of mindset and know that they can beat the 49ers. The 49ers played, already on Thursday night against the Giants. I mean, it wasn't a great performance, but they pulled out, they started, pouring it on late and beat them convincingly. So, but yeah, so anyway, that's kind of my thoughts. So let's see what's going on in the chat. They're saying Zach Martin, Biotish not playing, Tyron's playing. I guess we'll see. And let's see, we got Doug. Doug's in Arizona. So Doug, I mean, how's Cowboy Nation looking out there? I mean, are they taking over? Are we looking good? We're going to take over that stadium, well represented. I mean, how's everything faring there? So definitely give us some insight. You got boots on the ground. Let us know what's going on. Any of you guys that want to chime in and call in, you guys are always welcome to do that. Let me throw that number out there. It's a little tricky for me because I'm solo, but I got my little phone here, so you got to be patient with me as we get it. But anyone who does want to call in, you're welcome to. If you're not too shy, let us know how you're feeling about the game. You can also, jump in if you wanted to do a video chat. We'll put that on there. Again, I do these shows primarily. They're, it's just chilling. It's low key. It's relaxed. It's just having a good time. So I'll put this up there. Anyone who wants to jump in the video chat to share your mind. But actually, had a good at the party. I met a Cowboys fan. Cowboys fans are everywhere, and they actually have a Cowboys club in Tampa. So never knew it, but talking with him, we might try and put something together and maybe do a live show out there. And maybe bring in a former player or something like that, have them come in and do that. So can't do the tailgate party every week at AT&T. So that might be a good little option. That might be something to do. So we may do that. So what is your feeling, guys, with this offense? So some people are saying they haven't shown enough yet. They haven't been explosive enough yet. Gallup. I mean, are you guys still getting a little nervous with Gallup. We just haven't seen him have a breakout game. But I look at it. The first game just got out of hand so quickly. I don't think the offense really needed to do anything. And then with the Jets, I think the offense did what they needed to. They knew they were ahead, and I think McCarthy did the smart thing to kind of scale things back a little bit. But Sauce wasn't on CD most of the game. He was on Gallup, so it would make sense that Gallup probably wouldn't have a big game against the Jets. But the Cardinals, I think the Cardinals are a team that this offense should explode. I said it in my promo. I don't even know who the hell is on this team. I don't know many of these guys in the Cardinals. I know, defensively they got rid of their best linebacker, Baker, but I guess he's not playing. I don't know what they have that scare you on the defense for our offense. And then offensively, they got Connor, the running back, nice running back, but he's kind of, long in the tooth for a running back. Don't really have much in receivers that scare me. So it's going to be interesting. So yeah, the difference in this year, they're beating the teams they need to beat, and they're beating the handle. And I can't agree with you more on that, Clarence, because last year you had those games. You had these kind of games where the Packer game. We're the better team. You're up by a lot, and then you just blow it. You had the Jacksonville game, which unfortunately I went to. You're up by a lot, and you blow it. Now this team is putting them away early, and I think that comes a lot to, give McCarthy credit, but I think you give these players credit, and it starts with Parsons. Parsons' mentality and what he's brought to the team, it's infectious, and it goes all along the way. And another one who doesn't get enough credit is Tank Lawrence. And Tank Lawrence, very first play against the Jets, dude, blows it up and just lays out Breece Hall behind the line of scrimmage. That's the kind of thing, that sets the tone. That's the kind of thing that kind of makes it, gets it good. So let's see. When you score 30 points on the top 3, I'm convinced. Yeah, see, that's why, I got to figure out Ultra. Because he said we're going to lose to the Jets 28-3, and he's been negative on the Cowboys, but then he becomes positive. So I don't know if Ultra has two people that use his account. One's a Cowboys fan and one's not, or if he's just one of those who has the mentality of let's be negative. And then, because then the vibes come and then positive things come from it. So whatever it is, I like it. So, we'll roll with what Ultra says, but I do, I like the Cowboys. I think they're, the offense is fine. The one concern I have, and with you guys too, is with the running game. We've run the ball well. But you saw a little bit when you're getting inside the 5, you're getting in close. I'm still not convinced that we've got the running back that's going to get them dirty yards, some short yards. You saw, Lipke out there at fullback. And to be honest, I just hadn't seen much from him from a blocking standpoint or really running, giving him the ball in short yardage. So I still think that's something I want to see. If there's something I'm going to be looking for, is that. And I think Pollard's capable of it. I think Pollard can be the guy, to get those dirty yards, but I don't know if you want him getting that kind of punishment, because that takes away what we love about Pollard and what his strength is getting outside and just using his speed and just, getting those big chunk yards. So, Rico has been all right. The running game's been all right, but it's just, I'd like to see a little bit more when we need to put a team away, that we've got the backs that can do it. Or if you're inside the 5, in the red zone, we settled for a lot of field goals. And I think, again, that was the offense being a little conservative, saying, all right, the Jets, there's no way in hell their offense is going to be putting up points. Let's not give them any cheap momentum. Let's not give them anything that could give them a little bit of life. Let's just, run with it. And we did have a touchdown that got pulled away from, with a penalty, but it is what it is. So that's what I want to see with the offense. Is I just want to see them finish drives. I want to see the running game finish the drives when they're getting in there, and then really interested to see how Cooks does, and Gallup. You're talking about with Eugene Lockhart, this famous thing we got.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry.
I need somebody. All right. If you're looking for that hungry player, I mean, to me, it's like a Gallup. I mean, I want to see Gallup. This should be a game that he should be able to light it up, especially if you got Cooks and you got CD. I mean, Gallup should have a field day. Just my opinion. So let's see what we got. He's arguing? Old primetime Phil, dumb Eagles fan that they had. Man, blocked me on his channel a while back. It was I might have missed that. I don't know what he's talking about. I thought he was making fun of the Eagles, which I do love. I do love when they do that. I do love when you guys make fun of the Eagles. But again, going on the Cardinals, this is a game that we call trap games. We call all these different things when you play an inferior opponent. But the Cardinals have showed a little life. I mean, they had the Giants. I mean, we were at the game last week, and Kelly and I look at halftime, and they're killing the Giants, but then they found a way to blow it. So this is a team that you don't want to, you just don't want to look past. But I mean, with all due respect, I mean, this is a team that we should mow over. We should beat the hell out of them. I don't think they should score a touchdown. I mean, we've given up 10 points. What did we give up? 10 points in 2 games. The one touchdown we gave up was, kind of a, let's just, I don't want to say a fluke play, because I don't know if you want to call any play fluke plays, but it wasn't like they drove down the field. It was, busted coverage, this, that. And Garrett Wilson's a, really good receiver, and he made the Cowboys pay for it. So, and that leads us into, obviously Diggs, with the secondary, the news, was crushing. You don't really expect to get that news in the middle of the week. Especially those kind of injuries. But it's a non-contact. It's so unfortunate. I think the defense, you see everything poised. But what I would say is, and I don't want to minimize it, but we're deep in the secondary, and if you're gonna get hurt, like for us in the secondary or in the defense, the secondary was a spot where, God, you don't want to see anyone get hurt, but God forbid there was an injury. I think that was the one part of the defense that we probably could overcome. And it just makes the Gilmore signing even better. You see, Deron Bland, what he did last year. I think a lot of people underestimate him and what he did last season. And yeah, we're going to miss Diggs. I mean, he had 3 turnovers in 2 games, right? I mean, he caused 2 fumbles. He had the pick. I mean, he's a playmaker. He's our number 1 corner. It's not, you don't replace that. But what I think they can do is, I think, obviously, the pass rush. If you get the pass rush that we've had, it makes life so much easier on the cornerbacks. So you've got Gilmore. Bland's proved himself. You got J. Luke coming back. You got, they obviously Iggy. You got Eric Scott. You got Izzy, who helped out. So I just think we have the depth at secondary, which is surprising. I mean, let's talk about it. Let's think about it. I mean, how have we ever been able to say that? How many years have we been able to, has it been since we've been able to say the secondary is an area of depth for us, on this football team? But it is. And I think, I think the Cowboys have got, the defensive line that's going to make life easier for the secondary, and they have made life easier for the secondary. Look at the turnovers. We're number 1 in turnovers. We're number 1 in sacks. We're number 1 in this. We're number 1 pretty much in everything. And to Steven's point, yeah, absolutely. The pass rush makes it better. Now, I don't want to say you could throw me back. Kind of. Maybe I was arguing football last night, and I made the comment, you could throw me back there in the secondary with this pass rush, and I can handle it. I mean, I don't want to go that far, but I think with what we have, I think it's there. I mean, are there going to be some games where you're like, God, we wish we had Diggs, and are there going to be some plays where they're going to look at it and say, well, yeah, of course, you're gonna, you don't just replace, an All-Pro, you don't replace, a guy at Diggs level, and not have a drop off, but I don't think the drop off can be as severe with the guys that we have in place, the system that we have in place. You got to trust Dan Quinn. And I think we have the offense too. I mean, it's not like we don't have the offense to put up points. So if we've got to put up, people are underestimating this Cowboys offense. And I hear a lot is, the offense is struggling. I mean, they put up 26, they take away the 14 on defense. They put up 26 and they put up 30. I mean, we're putting up points. We're putting up points, and the defense is putting us in position to be successful as well. And they'll continue to do that. And that's what's so good about this team. And that's why, people say things feel different, and I just think this team feels different. I don't think there's going to be a game where we're going to get blown out. Is there a game we're going to lose? Sure. I mean, I don't think any team is, except the 72 Dolphins, right? They still talk about that. That's going to go undefeated. I just don't think that's going to happen. There are going to be times where Cowboys are going to face some adversity, but I just don't think I don't think they're going to blow leads like they did, in the past. And I just don't think a team's just going to come in and blow the doors off them. I think if we lose any games, it's going to be close, competitive games, road games, things that are battled down to a field goal, this and that. And you could, you don't want to take it, you don't like it, but I think that the character of this team just feels a lot different. And again, to me, it starts with the defense and with Micah Parsons. And yeah, Jay Lewis, he's playing better coming off that injury. I think he's going to be fine. But like I said, you got Eric Scott, you got, he's a rookie, but you've got some guys there. I mean, and Izzy played, he played cornerback. That's the thing too. We got some flexibility with our safeties and things like that, to where if we've got to put them on certain coverages to cover certain guys, to, kind of game plan it, we've got the depth to do it. So you still may see it. Let's see. Real test. No, it's, we don't want to look too far ahead, but yeah, week five is on the calendar. I mean, make no mistake about it. And that's why I was a little concerned with I'm going out to the AT&T next week for New England. And that's why that game kind of concerns me a little bit. And I got some heat because I picked that before the season as a game we might lose. And I don't think New England's better. Now watching New England play, I think we win that game. I think we're far superior. I expect a little bit more out of New England, but I really haven't seen much. So I think I'm gonna adjust my record and say maybe 13-4 now, because I think we're gonna end up beating New England. They too, we don't have flashy, minimize mistakes. And I think that's the thing that McCarthy does over what we had with Kellen Moore. And it's why I wanted McCarthy. When they made him the head coach, you wanted him to have his offense and his control. Because I just think you need to. It's Jimmy Johnson said it. I talked about it too. And then someone to remind me, Jimmy Johnson talked about it as well on the show, is like Kellen Moore, when you get offensive coordinators that are doing the play calling, they're coaching for jobs. They want a head coaching job. They're coaching to get that opportunity. And you could see it the way Kellen Moore called plays sometimes, because we'd all all of us looked at each other with you play going down the field, 8 yards, 12 yards, 5 yards, 6 yards. You're going down the field, and then you're owning the line of scrimmage. You're running it or passing, whatever you do. And then they do some weird trick play, which you didn't even need to do. And you end up losing a bunch of yards and bad things happen. I think that is a lot, throwing the ball a lot with big leads, and you still got a lead. You remember Shanahan, notoriously was, for that in the Super Bowl, but he was trying to get a job. He wanted to put it on New England and beat the hell out of them, and that would have looked great for him to get a job, which he ended up getting a job anyway. But I just think McCarthy talked about it. He's coaching to win the game. He's not worried about the stats. He's not worried about looking flashy if he doesn't need to. He wants to win. So his mindset's going to be a little bit different than an offensive coordinator that's, vying for an NFL coaching job. They're gonna call game a little bit different. So I think that's where you see it, where the Cowboys, again, against that Jets game, they're in the red zone a bunch, and then they're running, and they're just playing a little conservative. But when you're up 2+ scores, I mean, why risk anything with momentum? Momentum is a big thing. So why risk that? So they went ahead and did it. So I think it'll be good. I think it'll be interesting. Yeah. Bland and Diggs, they'll be the starting quarterbacks next year. I mean, Gilmore's he's here on a pretty much one year showcase. But hey, if it works out and if they can get it right, I mean, Gilmore's been, he's been good. You can, as you can see, you can never have enough cornerbacks. And again, with Diggs, having that injury, there is a little bit of a curve there. He's not going to be the Diggs of old. I don't think right off the bat. I think there will be some time to kind of get him going. You kind of see it with some of these players. So I think with what they got, but I'm not worried about next year, man. I don't even give two craps about 24. I'm talking about 23. I'm talking about, what are we in, week 3? God, There's still week 3 with going against the Cardinals. It's a game that we should win. It's a game that we should blow them out. But who are your guys to watch? Who's the guys? I mean, you're seeing what Osa. Look at the year he's having now. Again, a lot of these guys are going to have those years, and to me, it still all comes back to Parsons, because Parsons, I think, is causing so much havoc and causing so much attention. Some of these guys, I mean, he's just leaving it to them to eat. And again, I don't want to dismiss Tank either, because I think he's doing the same. But you see what Osa's doing. I mean, he's having a monster year so far. We really haven't even seen Sam Williams. I mean, we haven't really seen him explode yet. And I know a lot of people had high hopes for him to be that breakout guy into this year's second year and get double-digit sacks and all that kind of stuff. But he's it's been kind of quiet. But his time's going to be coming. So it's this defensive line. It is so refreshing to me to have a defense that is just can dominate a game. And I know points. Everyone wants to score 100 points, but I don't know. For me, when you can shut out teams or demoralize teams or beat the hell out of them on, destroy their offense, it is just such a good feeling. It's like nothing. I would rather shut out a team than put up 50 points on them. That's just me. I just think it demoralizes them. I think it builds up your team's confidence more than blowing a team out, because it can always say things can happen. The score gets out of hand. So, but yeah, defense is what I want. Yeah, I'm hoping Sam Williams shows up. And yeah, see, Angelica, we don't agree on college, but we can agree when it comes to the Cowboys and what we're talking about. So definitely. And yeah, Thomas is a guy. I mean, he's a young dude. He's rookie. He's shown some big things. So let's see. But I don't know who said Diggs is Dion. Did anyone say Diggs was Dion? I don't know. Diggs is good. I mean, good. And again, cornerbacks. I mean, the cornerback's kind of the worst position to be in the NFL. You got to have a mentality. And I used to always call, even when I deal with work or I deal in sports or anything, when I was, coaching kids or whatever, it was, I always said, you got to have cornerback mentality. A cornerback can shut you out all game. Let's say Diggs. Diggs can shut you out all game. He messes up once, they get a touchdown. That's all they're going to show on ESPN. They're not going to show that for 59 minutes you shut the guy down. They're going to show one play, and that's hard. I mean, that's why mentally cornerbacks is a difficult position, because you got to be mentally tough just to move on from it. And I think people talk about Dion. I think that's what made Dion so great. Has Dion gotten beat before? Absolutely, he has. But he's shut people down a hell of a lot more than he's got beat, and that's what the important thing. That's what makes the great ones. And I think Diggs is different. People always like to has he compared to Dion. In my opinion, he's just a different cornerback. It's not that he's worse or better. They're just different. Dion was shut down. When I call shut down, there's only a few cornerbacks I would say shut down. He was that kind of guy. Diggs is a risk taker, but he's a ball hawk. He's one of those guys that he's going to take some chances. He's going to win a lot, but he might mess up once in a while too. And if he doesn't have, the safety, if they're not in sync, then it can end up being a big play. So I think, with Diggs, is he one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL? I think he is. Is he the best cornerback in the NFL? Maybe, maybe not. But I think Diggs is up there. But never will I, at least for me, never will I put a cornerback in Dion's caliber. It was probably Darrelle Revis, in his prime, was probably, that guy that you would have put, close to Dion. I still wouldn't put him in Dion's category, but it's a guy that you'd put close to him. I just think back to that Jets game with Dez and they were winning and Romo threw it and Revis just baited it and took it to the house and yeah. So anyway, I got a lot of respect for Revis, got a lot of respect for Dion, but how many sacks do we get today? I mean, are we thinking 7? I mean, you guys tell me 7, 8. I mean, we should absolutely annihilate this quarterback. I mean, our pass rush compared to them, unless they get, you got to think with the Cardinals, they're going to be ultra conservative. No pun intended to our man Ultra. I think they're obviously they're gonna try and run the ball as much as possible. Quick passes. They still got Ertz, who's he's kind of getting up there in age, but I think they're going to do a lot of stuff, dump offs. They're going to try and keep it very close to the vest. So I think early on, maybe you don't see the sack numbers total, but I think once the Cowboys get up 2 scores, it forces them into a passing situation, unless they just kind of say, all right, we're just going to still play a slow game and just get out of here without getting blown out. They're going to start passing, and I think that's when trouble's going to start. Or, maybe they have nothing to lose. They say, hey, they don't have Diggs. We're gonna take a shot, and we're gonna just throw. We're gonna start out throwing deep and just start throwing all over them and just see what happens. And if we're gonna go down, we're gonna go down swinging. I haven't really seen the Cardinals much. I don't know their mentality. I don't know their coach's mentality. If it were me and I was the Cardinals, I would open up throwing, and I'd be throwing often, and I would just take my shot. If I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down swinging. I'm not going to get conservative. If I was a Cardinals, I would take a lot of chances. You got nothing to lose. But with those, chances of reward become a lot of risk. And I think, with Gilmore and again with Bland, I think a lot of people are underestimating Bland. I think, you look at the national media, everything with the Diggs injury. I don't think I don't think they're given the respect enough, not only to Bland, but the pass rush and what Quinn's able to do, scheme wise, with his players. And I think that's the other thing that you see with the Cowboys. And you guys correct me if I'm wrong. That's different. Is Mike McCarthy? He's been able to overcome adversity with injuries. I mean, you think about Dak last year. I mean, we were able to go, 4-1 with Cooper Rush. And I know a lot of people, Cooper Rush didn't play great. I mean, he didn't turn the ball over to the last game, but he was, efficient. But what was great was that defense elevated their game to another level. And that's what really brought it to the Cowboys. And that's what you saw. McCarthy, obviously, with Tyron Smith, going down, he's able to overcome that. I mean, we go back to the days, and I hate to go way, way back, but the Chaz Green game, that's always, I was there for that. Other regimes and other coaching staffs that we have not been able to do that. You lose one guy and it's like the whole world ends. The Cowboys with McCarthy, he's been able to do that. So that's why I'm not overly concerned with the injury. It's disappointing, but I believe in the team and what they're doing to make sure it's going to happen. So, but yeah, I think it's going to be, and Angelic, I think we're going to, I mean, geez, controlling the clock. What do we have, like 40 something minutes last week? It was crazy. And again, appreciate all you guys jumping in. It's, this is what I do on Sunday morning. Just want to chat. If you guys got questions or things, or just throw them in the chat and all that kind of stuff. It's just having a good time. And I get up early, gonna have some breakfast after this. I always have a ritual, go get some breakfast at a little local diner, get everything feeling right, get the mind right for the games, watch the 1:00 games. I don't really think there's much good 1:00 games to watch. So, but try and watch a little bit. I don't get as tuned into 1:00 because I got to save all my energy for the Cowboys, but it's going to be good time. So looking at the game, score predictions. I mean, what are you guys feeling? Is anyone in this chat think it's going to be closer than we all think? I mean, a lot of us say they're going to beat them, but I'd really be interested in the chat. Is there something? Does anyone have a bad feeling about this game? Does anyone say, "Hey, man, we might win, but don't be overconfident. It's going to be a little bit closer than you guys, than you guys are thinking." So let's see. Bobby's gonna want Troy's gonna be watching multiple games, and I got to be careful with Troy because him and I are battling in fantasy. And he got some 49ers, and his 49ers did pretty damn good Thursday. So I got work to do. Got to talk to my squad, make sure they're together. Angelica, she's got no faith. Steven, 34 to 10. it's kind of, I forgot what the score I did. I know it was up there. I think it's going to be a blowout, 45-17. So yeah, everyone is kind of, from what I'm seeing so far, everyone's on the same page where they just don't think it's going to be close. I thought maybe we'd get one or two that might say, hey, this is one of those, people love those trap games. This is one of the games where Cowboys might be looking a little ahead, maybe too far ahead to San Francisco. But we got 31s. There we go. 31-7 cards. Ultra's playing mind games. I like that. He's doing the mind tricks on us because he did 28-3 with the Jets. I think that's Ultra's play. I think he's one of those guys that he likes reverse psychology. He's going to say we stink, and that way we win. But 40-3 from Troy, 40-9 from Steady. Yeah, no one. I mean, everyone's pretty confident. So what you guys are saying, this should be a nice, relaxing day for Cowboys Nation. We're going to take care of business. We're going to relax, and then of course the eyes are back on to New England, back at AT&T. Your boy is going to be there. We had a great tailgate party. Hopefully, it was great for everyone who was out there. We had a great turnout. Definitely you're going to want to do it again. Just not this season. We're going to do it next season. Get a little old. And I still am upset about the way that they do tailgates at AT&T. I think it's terrible, but it is what it is. Oh, there we go. We got some love from Germany. I don't know, what time is it, in Germany right now, Sasha? What time are you guys? What time do you have to watch the game? I know it's a hell of a lot different than we are. Hopefully, it's not too bad. I know the guys in England. I think it's like 2 a.m. or something. The games are on. It's crazy. So, yeah, definitely don't see. So, all right. So the game's on later for you, or no? If it's 3 o'clock now, that would be an 8 more hours. It'd be like 11. Yeah. All right. Well, it's not too bad. It's about 11. See, I was about right, about 10:30. So yeah, so that's good. See, I'm not military, so I got to think of all the military time. I'm trying to count it in my head. I probably screwed it up, but it sounds like it's late. Bart Scott. Yeah, I talked about that, tweeted about it. I didn't understand it, and I know Bart Scott was trying to be funny. I think he was trying to make a joke about it, but I mean, injuries aren't. I don't know. Like, God forbid an injury happened to a Philly player, Giants. You don't want that. I didn't want Aaron Rodgers to be here. I wanted to play Aaron Rodgers. Now I'm not gonna, feel bad. I mean, it is what it is. Everyone's gonna be injured. We got guys. No one's feeling sorry for us, and I'm not gonna feel sorry for anyone else who's got to go through injuries. That's part of the game. But I'm not gonna sit there and do a big dance and gloat about it like you saw some, Eagle fans doing. You obviously saw Bart Scott. Bart Scott looked like an idiot. And he's and when I said he needed to be fired, it's not. I wasn't saying fired because of that. I'm just saying he's terrible. I'm just saying it brings no value. All he's doing is stuff to just be negative on the Cowboys. Like he said, the Jets are going to run for 200 yards against them. Well, all right, that didn't happen. Not even close. Be a man and get on TV and say, you know what? I thought I was wrong. I thought the Jets are going to run all over them. The Cowboys defense is better than I thought, different than I thought. Give them credit. But he doesn't do that. He just, he looked stupid making that comment, so he doubled down and wanted to make a comment about Diggs, thinking that Stephen A, was going to say something, or Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark's, that's not in his DNA. He's not going to do that. And Stephen A, again, a lot of people don't like Stephen A. He doesn't bother me because I know what his shtick is. I know, I went to his show. I've seen his show. You kind of see it. It's all in, it's all for show. It's all for show. The Cowboy stuff, it's just, he's getting ratings off it. He's made a lot of money off it. He loves the Cowboys. He's a closet Cowboys fan. Trust me, he is, because he knows more and follows the Cowboys more than most people. So, he doesn't bother me. I don't watch the show that much because I'm not. ESPN's kind of losing me with all the BS. I mean, I just, everything's outside of sports. But Stephen A's entertaining. I think he's funny. I could take it or leave it, but I understand what he's about. So Let's see what we got here. Oh, Steven, celebrating a 39th birthday. Well, happy birthday. Hopefully the Cowboys give you a present and drop these chumps, the Cardinals. But more importantly, on my birthday, we play the 49ers. We need to make sure they deliver that birthday wish for me and handle them 49ers because I definitely want that. Yeah. And Diggs is going to be back stronger. It's the adversity that you have to have. But he'll definitely overcome it. We got my man Fred again. Big thanks to Fred. Working the pit, but Fred had the opportunity, and this is where I say I'm jealous of not living in Dallas. People say, Mike, would you live in Dallas? I don't think I would. Not that I don't like the area. It's just different. I'm a Florida guy, beaches and all that kind of stuff. It's just a little bit different when you're, born and raised in Florida. But he had the chance to meet Ed Too Tall Jones. He did an appearance. I'm assuming near his house or near where he lived, and he got some pictures with him. He got one of his cuts that he does these beautiful cuts signed by Too Tall, which I think is really cool. And I'm almost positive he gave him one which is even cooler. So he had a great time. Won some nice cups, not some nice glasses. I was even looking on eBay for them because I was like, man, those are pretty cool. Hopefully, in a few days, some people who got some are looking to sell them, and I'll go snatch some, especially Tony Dorsett. But that's really cool, man. It's cool, and I always try and find. There was Greg Ellis was doing a signing last year, and I wasn't prepared for it, so I need to make sure that I'm on my game with that as well. So it's going to be it's a lot of fun, and that's probably one of the things I miss about not living there. It's there, but yeah, Too Tall. Yeah, I'd be interested to hear Fred. We have to definitely let me know what he said because we had Bob Lilly on and that was really cool to hear what he said about the defense and talking about it. Oh, he got it. All right, wait, man. He hooked me up. We got that Haley one too, man. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Well, if you got me hooked up, man, I appreciate it. Oh, yeah, that'll be in the cave, of course, be represented. But that's really cool that they do that kind of stuff, man, and player appearances and things like that. And we talk about some of these legends, like a Too Tall, how he's not in the Ring of Honor, how he's not in the Hall of Fame. I mean, you look at his career, and it's really talk to the people that played against him. More importantly, you talk about the offensive linemen that had to go against Too Tall, and I've had the opportunity to talk to a few of them, and they're even surprised. They said that guy was just he was at another level. He was so big. He was just a problem. All his pass deflections and the sacks he had, the forced fumbles and all, just look at his numbers. And unfortunately, some of these guys, they didn't keep a lot of these stats. Like tackles, Eugene Lockhart kind of gets screwed out of the tackle record because it wasn't a stat till after 89. They really didn't keep it as an official stat. Believe it or not, like it didn't happen into the 90s. And then you talk about sacks. Sacks weren't an official stat until I think the 82 season. So they've gone back, and they've looked at different, players and they've counted. I know Too Tall's had over 100 sacks in his career, unofficial. But I think that hurts a lot of these guys because you get these media people they're the ones voting and they just, they're looking at numbers and everyone always looks at numbers and they don't look at the substance behind it, or is there a story behind some of these numbers that are missing? So, he's a guy that he's a forgotten one, and you can't talk about the Cowboys history without talking about Ed Too Tall Jones. So yeah, having Bob Lilly on, for any of you guys that are new to the channel, had the opportunity to interview Bob Lilly. I mean, Mr. Cowboy, he's on the Mount Rushmore of the Cowboys. Just his insight, the stories. I always say with these veteran guys, and we've got so many come in and so fortunate to do it, the stories that they tell is unbelievable. But the memory that they have, and able to relive those moments, play the situation down and distance, everything that goes in it, it's amazing. I mean, Barry Switzer, we had him on too, and he's going through the Super Bowl 30, and he's talking about different plays and the formations and how that defense was set up to our offense. It is just it's unbelievable how these guys think, and you think as a fan, It's like I'm having a hard time remembering what happened last weekend, and I was there, and I'm thinking a different place, and I'm having a hard time remembering it. So, yeah, I wish you would have, Fred, because yeah, I'd love to get Too Tall on. More importantly, Fred, what you should have asked him is that story that Eugene talked about in his first start, where him and Randy White had words with him in the locker room, in the shower, no less. I'd be wondering if that was urban legend or if there was any truth to that. You should have asked him that. That's what I would have been loving to hear. But yeah, Troy Aikman, again, he's one I would love to get on the show. He might be too big for your boy Tag, but he would be one that would be a lot of fun to have on, and definitely hear some stories. But yeah, that would have been. Yeah, Fred, you missed the boat on that one. That would have been gold. And if you'd have been rolling that camera, that would have been even better to get that response, because I don't know. I don't know if that's an urban legend. I don't know if that's a fact. I don't know all of that stuff. But if you guys haven't heard the story with Eugene Lockhart, again, if you're new to the channel, new subscriber, go back to the playlist of our player interviews and just go listen to the very first. Now, Eugene is a friend of the show. Make sure you send some prayers. He's going through some stuff health wise. He's got some surgery coming up, so definitely keep him in your thought and prayers. But he's a fighter, so I feel very good that he's gonna win the battle. But yeah, the very first one, the story, you have to listen to that. If you haven't, you're doing yourself a disservice. And I'm telling you, that's my public service announcement for all of you guys. But yeah, I think it's cool, Sasha, with being a Cowboys big fan in overseas. And I think there's so many, and it was funny because I had you do get these analytic reports in England, Germany. There's so many spots where our show is viewed, and so it's showing that there's Cowboy fans, and they're talking about America's team, and I mean they're kind of like the world's team. I mean, yeah, Jason Garrett. Yeah, Jason Garrett. Now, he would be, the thing is, Jason Garrett would be interesting to talk to. Not really, the coaching, it would be interesting, but we probably have some disagreements and maybe some, I don't want to say arguments, but just kind of thought process. But playing, there was some, I mean, he had some, he was on that team of the 90s, and he played against the Packers in that Thanksgiving Day. I mean, there was definitely some games and some stories that, when he was kind of like that quiet guy, and you had a lot of personalities on that team. I mean, that I'm sure I'm sure there would have been some stories. Coaching, the thing I'd give, if I never like to be a negative on people, but I think, he was coached the Cowboys too long. But I think one thing that he kind of did is, I mean, he did bring some level. I'm trying to find good words to say about it, but he brought a level of consistency, 8-8, but a consistency to the Cowboys, and I think he helped transform a little bit. With the focus on the offensive line, a little too conservative on some of his stuff, but he was just there too long. I think he was probably with the Cowboys probably 3 or 4 years too long as a head coach. He reached his ceiling, and I just don't think he ever got past that. And I just think that, I kind of wish the Cowboys would have made a move a few years earlier, especially for Romo's career. I mean, a few years earlier in Romo's career, and maybe see, how that would have worked out for Tony, as a quarterback. You saw the Hall of Fame, and you saw the Cowboys, up for the Hall of Fame, and obviously he's on that list. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. I think he's a very good quarterback. I think his story is great, undrafted and everything. I just don't think he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, I would put Woodson in. Woodson should be a Hall of Famer. At Too Tall Jones should be a Hall of Famer. Before as a Cowboy, before I'd put Tony Romo in. As far as people who are eligible, I mean, Witten's going to get in. I think we can all agree on that. So, it's just one of those things. But anyway, so yeah, the Cowboys are going to win. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to get some breakfast, but more importantly, I appreciate everyone for joining the cave, having a good time. I love mixing it up in the morning. Kind of, I'm sleepy, so it gets the juices flowing, and it's always glad to see a bunch of people that are up here too. I got the Cowboys winning easy. I think it's going to be an autographed card from me. Yeah, I signed my first autographed jersey. I got an autographed jersey I signed at the tailgate. I was kind of shocked, but hey, man, it's actually for people to think that highly of you that they want that. I don't know, it's not worth nothing, but for that, it actually I got the feeling of the other side, and I don't know why not every player signs autographs, because I thought it was a pretty cool thing, and so anyway, it was awesome. So I appreciate all you guys joining the chat. I appreciate y'all joining the show, having a lot of fun. We're going to have, obviously, our Monday show, Tuesday fantasy football. I'm telling you, if you guys are playing fantasy football, we got a group there that brings a lot of insight, but more importantly, brings a lot of fun. So you got them on Tuesday, Kelly and I on Wednesday. We're mixing in some live interviews that'll be on Wednesday, Thursday. We're kind of getting things going. Talked about possibly doing some live remotes at some shows. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're having a great time this year. So make sure, if you guys are here now, all you got to do is hit that little like button. Every time you hit the like button on any of the shows, it just kind of helps with the algorithm. It helps everything, kind of gives us more exposure. And then if you subscribe, we got a lot of watchers that haven't hit the subscribe button. If you hit the subscribe, that helps. Again, it helps get our show out there. So if you could just do that for your brother. I never asked for anything. When's your boy Mike Tag asked for anything? And I'm begging for you guys to hit that like, subscribe, and more importantly, you share it, because there's so many Cowboy fans across the world that, some, we got I got probably 20 or 30,000 followers, but some of that's weird. Some of it doesn't show up when you're tweeting and everything that's going on with X or with Twitter, whatever it is. So if you spread the word, spread the news, it's always good things, but make sure you do it. I appreciate everything, and hopefully I'll see you guys at AT&T. I'll be out there in October. What was that? October 1st, whatever that game is for the Cowboys and the Patriots. So if you're out there, hit me up, send me a DM. I'll let you know where I'm at. I'll be walking around, probably hitting, obviously, lot 10, hook up with some of my boys at their tailgate. I won't have to host. I could be a guest, but going to have a good time. So hopefully I'll see you guys at AT&T next Sunday. If not, I want to see you on the show Monday and definitely Wednesday and Tuesday for the fantasy football show. So let's go, Cowboys. Like a little Jimmy Johnson.
And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
Let's go handle that business. We're going to make things happen. Make sure, lastly, hit that like, subscribe, share. I see all you guys in the chat. I see a bunch of people watching, so I better see a ton of likes. And we'll see you guys next week. I'm doing some new outros, so your boy's working on it. I'm trying to get things going. So I'll leave you with this last one. You guys have a great day, and let's go, Cowboys.
Is going to be commencing real soon, because we're getting ready to get this party started. Can